if you pay any sort of attention to the YouTube atheist community, you are sure to have seen not one, nor two, nor a handful, but more like several dozen at least videos describing the difference between atheists and agnostics. And some of these videos will say that, well, agnostics are atheists, and some of these videos will say, no, agnostics are not atheists, and some will say they all fit into a larger category of non-believers or skeptics or secularists, or on and on and on. Yes? I even saw a video recently of one scientist of whom I am very fond, and of whom I am a fan, Mr. Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson. Yes? Cosmologist and general genius and nice guy. And he was describing his frustration that the greater atheist community like to claim him as one of their own. And he says, the only ist I like to call myself is a scientist. And he said that he didn't like the baggage that came with being called an atheist. The idea of being militant, the idea of being angry, the idea of being an activist. And he didn't want that baggage, and he would accept evidence of a creator or of a god, and that atheists wouldn't necessarily do so. And I know many people have railed against Neil deGrasse Tyson for saying these things, and speaking as a person who spent about a decade calling herself an agnostic for pretty much these same reasons, I can get where he's coming from. I'm going to go ahead and jump in and disagree with a genius. So I'm probably wrong, but I'm going to disagree with him anyway. And I am going to disagree not because that baggage idea isn't out there, because clearly it is. Anyone who calls themselves an atheist, or even just a non-believer or agnostic or anything like that, has probably been told what they think by other people. Oh, well, you're this, you think this. And I'm sure, and I know people do that everywhere. People do that to Christians, people do that to Muslims, people do that to everyone. They claim a label, and then they are told what that label means. I submit to you and to Neil deGrasse Tyson and to the greater population of the planet that it doesn't really matter what you call yourself. Call yourself a secularist, a non-believer, an atheist, an agnostic, a bright, a pastafarian. Call yourself a partridge in a pear tree. It doesn't matter. People will try to ascribe baggage to you. They will start heaping it on, because they have their own understanding of these terms and these words, and they have compartmentalized these things in their brain, which going back to my cherry picking no real Christians video, if you do not fit that mold, they will say, no, that's not what you really are. You're not a real Christian. You're not a real this, that, or the other. And in order to facilitate conversation, when people do that to you, stop them and tell them, no, that is not what I think. Please do not put words into my mouth. Please do not put thoughts in my head. I will thank you to listen to what I have to say. We will exchange ideas. Perhaps we will find each other's ideas interesting, and perhaps we will not. Perhaps we will find common ground. Perhaps we will not. But my ideas of life, the universe, and everything are my own. Perhaps they have been influenced by other people, positively, negatively. Perhaps I have arrived at them just through my own reasoning. I will be happy to share that with you. Certainly, if you want to have that conversation, say that. If you don't want to have that conversation, say, that is not what I think, and I do not have time to explain to you what I think. Sure, go with it. That's cool. But no. The idea of labels, they're useful. They're easy to lend a general overview of what you are. Example, I've told you that I am an aircraft mechanic. That actually covers all manner of evils. But generally speaking, I am an aircraft mechanic. I could do anything on aircraft. I could be a tire mechanic. I'm not, but I could. I could make tires and tear them down. I don't do that, but I could. But people, if you tell them that, you tell them, I'm an aircraft mechanic. They get an idea in their head. Tell them, I'm an atheist. They get an idea in their head. And if you want to elaborate on that in conversation, do so. So, a label only gets you so far. Do not rely on it to explain your entire life outlook. And do not expect it to explain anyone else's entire life outlook. If you want to have a conversation, have a conversation. If you want to have a short, sweet interchange, I'm an atheist, well, I'm an agnostic, cool, whatever. These things might mean different things to people. They explain radically different concepts to many people. So, Dr. Tyson and atheist community and interested parties of YouTube, go ahead, call yourself whatever you want, but do not accept baggage that does not belong to you. Do not allow others to define you. Call yourself what you want. Be what you want. Think. And have a lovely night.